Alright, so if you're watching this video, then that means Ho-Oh is returning to raid battles, and you're looking to figure out how you can duo this Pokemon. And of course, Ho-Oh is going to be a little bit tougher than most other raid bosses that are duoable, but if you have the right counters, this Pokemon could actually be beaten pretty easily with just one other trainer. And that's really what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. I'm going to be telling you how you can defeat Ho-Oh with just 2 trainers. So yeah, hope you enjoy it. Let's roll the intro and get right into it. And how's it going, everyone? It's me, it's Count here with a brand new raid guide video. Today I'm going to be talking about Ho-Oh. This is of course the legendary flying and fire type Pokemon that a lot of people see as kind of like a companion to Lugia, considering that they're both from the Johto region of Pokemon. But when it comes to Ho-Oh, it's kind of interesting how a lot of players tend to ignore this Pokemon in favor of Lugia, considering that Lugia does have some implications in the Master League and some uses in other parts of the game, whereas with Ho-Oh, a lot of players tend to ignore this Pokemon, considering that the movesets are not the most ideal for its types. But regardless if you plan to use Ho-Oh in raid battles or PvP or anywhere else, it's still a very fine collector's item, considering that the shiny form of Ho-Oh is one that a lot of players really covet. And of course, Ho-Oh is a pretty iconic Pokemon, considering that it's one of the first legendaries, if not the first legendary that appeared in the Pokemon anime. So a lot of players hold some significance for this Pokemon in regards to that. But in any case, you're here to find out how to defeat this Pokemon rather than why you should defeat it. So let's get right into it. So first and foremost, Ho-Oh is a fire and flying type Pokemon, which means it's going to have a double weakness to one type and one type only. And that type is of course going to be rock types. Now when it comes to rock types, there's going to be a few that really stand out. More specifically, when it comes to Rampardos, Terrakion, and Tyranitar, those are going to be your strongest options that are not megas. The mega evolutions that are going to be the most ideal for this raid boss is going to be Aerodactyl or Tyranitar. But of course, at the time that I was recording this video, both of these mega evolutions were not available at the moment. So if you are watching this from the future and those mega evolutions are available, then those are the ones that you will want to use up against Ho-Oh. Not only is the rock damage bonus going to be effective against Ho-Oh, but both Tyranitar and Aerodactyl dish out a lot of damage on their own, and that's definitely going to allow you to two-man this boss. And of course, yes, because Ho-Oh is a flying type and a fire type, there's plenty of different counters that you can use, but ideally, because of that double weakness to rock types, you will almost exclusively want to use only rock types, considering that when it comes to water types and electric types, yes, those are going to be effective against Ho-Oh, but in general, you will not get as much damage output as much as you would with rock types alone, so definitely stack your team with mostly rock types. In the most ideal scenario, you will want a full team of Shadow Tyranitars with Smackdown and Stone Edge. That's definitely going to be the heaviest hitters up against this boss, but you will also want to use Rampardos as well if you do not have a good amount of Shadow Tyranitars. Rampardos with Smackdown and Rock Slide will act as kind of like a glass cannon, and considering that Ho-Oh has some really well-rounded stats, you will want to dish out as much damage as possible if you are looking to defeat it with the least amount of trainers as possible. And of course, if you do not have a whole bunch of good Rampardos, you can opt to use Terrakion as well. Terrakion with Rock Throw and Rock Slide is going to dish out quite a lot of damage, and of course, because of its stats, Terrakion also has really high TDO as well. That means it's going to survive a lot more charge attacks going up against Ho-Oh, and it's going to stay in battle a lot longer. So if you're struggling to keep yourself alive, if you're struggling to dodge some of those charge attacks, then opt to use a whole bunch of Terrakion as well. Now when it comes to Ho-Oh, if you're looking to use a weather boost up against this Pokemon, then obviously you will want Partly Cloudy to utilize the weather boost for your rock types, but if you want a weather boosted Ho-Oh, then you will want one that's in sunny or windy weather. Sunny weather obviously boosts fire types, and windy weather boosts flying types, so if you're looking for a higher CP Ho-Oh, then these are the weather boosts that you're going to want to look out for. But as always, with a lot of these Pokemon that you could duo, it's obvious you would want the weather boost that will benefit you rather than the boss itself, so I highly suggest if you're going to try to duo this Pokemon, then utilize the Partly Cloudy weather boost as opposed to the sunny or windy weather boost. It's definitely going to make the fight a lot easier, and you will want to utilize every single one of the advantages that are available to you if you're looking to two-man this boss. But in any case, if you're looking for a perfect IV of Ho-Oh, then when it comes to its regular unboosted CP, you're going to want one that's 2207, and if it's weather boosted, you will want one that's 2759. These are going to yield the perfect IVs for Ho-Oh, and yeah, that's the ones you're going to want to look out for. And of course, Ho-Oh is a Pokemon that could potentially be shiny, so if you're looking for the shiny version of this Pokemon, then you will definitely want to raid as much as possible. Now in terms of its charge moves, I would say that all of them are not necessarily huge threats, and especially because probably the biggest threat that you would go up against is Solar Beam, and Solar Beam of course is easily dodgeable. It's definitely one of those charge moves that you could see coming a mile away. But when it comes to its charge moves, I would say that Solar Beam is definitely going to be the heaviest hitter, followed by Brave Bird and then Fire Blast. Brave Bird might give you a little bit of trouble if you're not using rock types, but if you are using rock types, it's going to be a cakewalk. And like every single one of these duo raid guides, I have to suggest that you have to utilize every single one of your advantages as you possibly can. That includes best friend bonuses, that includes having your Pokemon as a best buddy so that you could utilize some extra levels, and then of course maxing them out to level 50 as well. If you have one or two Pokemon that are maxed out to level 50, that could be the difference maker for whether or not you could actually defeat this boss with just one other trainer. And then of course I do suggest that both you and your fellow trainer be both level 40 with at least level 40 Pokemon. That's definitely going to seal the deal on whether or not you could duo this Pokemon. Now before I end this video, I do have to say that I know a lot of players are going to look at Ho-Oh and not really take it seriously, considering that it is a bit of a legacy Pokemon, not necessarily in terms of its movesets, but because it's a Pokemon that's been in the game for a very long time now. But there's definitely going to be newer players who will want this Pokemon. So if you want to have a good trade chip, especially for players who are just starting off, then this is a Pokemon that you could very easily stock up on and trade to newer players. So it's one that you should definitely not ignore. And of course, its shiny form is also pretty valuable as well, considering that it is a pretty unique look for a Pokemon, and I know a lot of players do want a really good IV shiny of this Pokemon. And like I said, it does have some really well-rounded stats, so it's not going to be a glass cannon, but at the same time, it's not going to be defense heavy like some of the Regis and other Pokemon that are pretty difficult to duo. But yeah, you should have no problem at all as long as you have a whole bunch of advantages to your arsenal and you're using a whole bunch of rock types as well. So yeah, that's going to be it for this raid guide. I really hope you found it to be useful. Let me know your thoughts down below. Have you caught a shiny Ho-Oh? I would definitely like to know. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I am Count Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, and I'll catch you all later.